I figure I'll put in the title something like Star Wars prequels they didn't blow. Because sometimes YouTube will read titles and won't send out notifications if you use certain hot words. And I'm sure blow is one of them. Anyway, I went camping in the mountains for a few days, and I had a coyote come walk through the camp, which isn't too impressive because I have coyotes outside my house once a month or so, and no, that's not code for anything. People used to shoot coyotes, but nowadays the police will probably murder you if you shoot anything other than home invader, which is funny because I thought I had some home invader. Turns out to be a misunderstanding. It was a drunk neighbor who didn't speak much English. Of course, the cops took 20 minutes to arrive. When seconds count, the police are minutes away. In case you're autistic, that is a joke that means Smith & Wesson are a girl's best friend. God made men, but Colt made them equal. The neighbor turned out to have taken French leave from rehab. Turns out that rehab is a bitch. Is that racist? It might be, but nobody cares about the French. Anyway, this coyote comes walking through camp. I assumed it was rabid, and I got the mace out, but it was just checking us out. It was watching from the tree line the rest of the night. The funny thing about camping is that you can easily spend 6 hours feeding the birds, eventually getting them to eat at your feet. It turns out that these bluebirds really like peanuts. There were turkeys up there, but those dudes were huge. They would have demanded we barbecue up some steaks. Little camping tip for you. Bug spray, sunblock, and baby wipes are essential items. Oh, and of course marshmallows, or you can even get fancy and get graham crackers and chocolate and marshmallows. Sounds disgusting, but it's probably better when you're camping. Or cut a banana lengthwise, put some chocolate slivers in it, wrap it in aluminum foil, melt it for a bit. Actually, all this stuff sounds disgusting. Maybe it's only good when you're 6. Okay, what got me thinking about coyotes and s'mores is and I hope that's the name for it, I was thinking about movies that were so much better in the theaters. Not only on the big screen, but with an audience that is coming from the same place as you and on the same page. The films that come to mind, Terminator 2 and Total Recall, both very good films. Total Recall was silly fun, but it knew it and it did an amazing job. Of course, Terminator 2 was also excellent for what it was. Now, both movies are still good on the home theater, but when people saw them opening weekend, the energy in the theater was off the charts. I kind of think of these films as the last few great blockbuster theater experiences. After these films, the internet started to really suck the excitement out of movies. It's like people only have so much excitement and attention to go around. Compare these films to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which were amazing on the big screen, but because those wide-open New Zealand hillsides look great, but the film held together in people's living rooms. Maybe it's different because people have read the books, but the films were excellent. You take a great filmmaker, good actors, and a fundamentally good story, and you'll have a good film. I have enjoyed Lord of the Rings on a laptop or even on a cell phone. To be fair, Arnold wasn't known for his acting skills. He was known for his personality and being able to pull off ridiculous one-liners. But Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and Predator were very good films for what they were. But Lord of the Rings had it all. Saw the story, good actors, and the technical aspects of the film were excellent. The only way people weren't going to like it would be if they didn't like Tolkien's original story, which was pretty popular, and for good reason. I'm no fantasy fan or expert, but Tolkien made dragons and trolls and dwarves very interesting, and of course hobbits with their second breakfast, which, now that I am in dieting, sounds kind of gross. The weird thing about cutting calories is that you quickly get used to it. Your boy has a theory about this one, his one-a-day diet plan, which seems a bit extreme to me. I think breakfast and an early supper is a good compromise on how to lose weight. And of course, no junk food. Only on camping trips should be eating marshmallows and chocolate. This brings me to Star Wars, the 1977 original trilogy and the later prequels. All the boomers talk about how much fun the original trilogy was, which is easy to prove or disprove. Just don't watch them. I have seen them as an adult, and the 40-year-old films hold up very well. The set designs and special effects were very good for the late 70s, early 80s. Oh, Faith, and you drunken kitty. Oh, there's a kitty who drank champagne. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the humanity. Oh, I wish I was drinking champagne. This is Faith number 12. It has drunken kitties because, OMG, I love drunken kitties. Please don't feed your pets alcohol. But Star Wars was more than just a good technical film. The unique chemistry between the leads was lightning in a bottle, with a lot of the credit going to Harrison Ford. Another weird thing about Star Wars was that Empire was better than The New Hope. And for kids, Return of the Jedi was the best film yet. Of course, in hindsight, people look at the Ewoks like they looked at Jar Jar, just characters used to sell toys. Keep it in mind they probably made more money on toys than on the films, but people forgave Lucas the Ewok silliness because the speeder chase was so amazing. Keep in mind it was 40 years ago, and filming that kind of stuff, not only a technical feat, building the stage, which is in the Redwood Forest, I think they built railroad tracks in the forest and then tried to kind of cover them up with, leaf litter and debris and stuff. And so they put the camera on the tracks and then had the camera going through the redwoods. So it would, you'd have the speeder's viewpoint. And if you watch Return of the Jedi in the big screen, it's an amazing shot. Even if you watch it at home, because now home theaters, the screens are large enough to give you a sense of kind of like being in the scene that a small screen doesn't do. But home theater systems people have, or you can get a projector system projected on a wall and get surround sound and all kinds of stuff. Let me explain something about the prequels. When they came out, people were into them. I think people understood that you're never going to recreate the original trilogy. So the prequels went in a different direction. And no, they weren't great, but at least they felt like Star Wars. It felt like a Star Wars universe, where The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi felt like a social justice warrior committee jerked off on a script for 2 hours. I can imagine a group of new males sitting around thinking, how can we make this more woke? Hey, soy boys, what about a good story, good plots, good actors? Apparently, Disney does not believe in any of that. It's funny to think that the prequels wouldn't be politically correct if they came out today. I'm not a PC pussy, but when I saw Jar Jar, I thought, is this supposed to be a Rastafarian or something? But it was, I don't know, they touched on it lightly. And, a lot of these things is looking at stereotypes. You have to look at the people who are making these assumptions, think, well, are you just projecting into this? Anyway, it wasn't a big deal at the time. But then I saw the greedy, big-nosed slave trader, the little flying dude. And I thought, okay, whoa, George Lucas. It's good to see he has a sense of humor and is just having fun with the characters. But people didn't make a big issue of it, even though the comparisons between Jar Jar and what was the other character's name? Watto, I think, the slave trader guy that he was flying around with wings. It seemed obvious to me and a lot of other people, but it just wasn't. I mean, there was social media and there were message boards and stuff back then. I think that came out in '99, but it wasn't. It just wasn't. It was an entirely different atmosphere 20 years ago than current year, and I was like, in Trump's America, am I right? In George Lucas's universe. Yeah, it was different. And as a consequence of this political correctness, you end up with the travesty that is The Last Jedi. 20 years from now, people are going to look back at The Last Jedi and wonder what the hell was wrong with the people who made it. The Last Jedi is a film made by an SJW committee. The problem with the committee is there's no passion. It's a film of the least common denominator, guaranteed not to offend, but also guaranteed to be absolutely milquetoast. And yes, I spelled that correctly. Yes, the film didn't offend anyone, but it also made $800 million less than The Force Awakens. I heard because there wasn't much repeat viewing, because not to put too fine a point on it, but it sucked. The Last Jedi sucked a bag of dicks. Instead of a fascist boot stepping on your face, it's like the dirty pussy of a Mary Sue sitting on your face forever. All apologies to Orwell. No, Daisy Ridley, please shave that bush. Hashtag Daisy Ridley needs to clean her beaver. Just kidding. Daisy Ridley is stunning and brave. And her beaver. She totally isn't overpowered and completely unfamiliar with the Star Wars universe. I know most people don't make it into 9 minutes of the video. So I'm free to make these kind of jokes. And when you point out a bit of inconsistency in The Last Jedi, they call you an incel, which is weird because we all have kids and they are childish weirdos who can't even keep their houseplants alive. See 28 Days with Sandra Bullock for that reference. The kids calling the adults insoles are literally high school kids who are pretty much married to their sock drawer, if you know what I mean. It seems weird to me that slut shaming is unacceptable, but incel shaming is totally cool. Seems almost hypocritical. Anyway, I realize that this is a bit of a rambling stream, but I'll jump back into the culture war tonight when I look at Tim's I Have the Transcript Lim's new book, Black Hops, available on Indiegogo. He said it's a soft reboot, which seems weird because the first one only came out a few years ago. Maybe that's the new trend. Instead of sequels, next time you have a hit product, just do remakes every few years. I am not even really being sarcastic. What if instead of The Force Awakens, they just did a more modern remake of A New Hope? Sounds weird, I know, but ask yourself this. Could it be worse than The Force Awakens? Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, or don't like and comment and subscribe. This is the ending of Faith, and what happens in the end? She brings... I brought donuts. Made the fat chick bring donuts. I brought donuts, if that's okay. And then she kind of pseudo-apologizes for it. I brought donuts, comma, if that's okay. Just, accept it. You don't have to apologize for anything, everything. Stop. Don't do that. Don't apologize. You're morbidly obese and you're bringing donuts to make the other people also morbidly obese. That's fine. I mean, donuts are great. Donuts are like one of God's gifts, I think. And they are truly as excellent as people make them out to be. But you don't have to apologize for being a great big fat fuck. You just own it, kind of own it, rock it, live it. But really, you should be bringing like carrots and vegetables, something like that. Anyway, they decided to make the fat chick just even more unappealing with her bringing poison food to poison the office. This is Faith 12. Eisner Award nominee. Eisner Award nominee. What does a nominee mean? It was nominated, but it didn't win because Mags Visaggio was too busy winning all the awards for books that sell 900 copies. Best new series. I should have looked up the sales. I'm sure they're pretty low. What a cover. No, as your boy would say, this cover sucks. Look at all the empty space. This sucks. There's just nothing to it. I mean, besides the obvious, the character's unappealing. Okay, the cat is cute. And in the comic book had some funny lines. The cat had some funny lines because it's a sentient, some kind of alien, I guess. But this cover, look, you see just shadows. I mean, we only have 2 hours to make the cover, so this is what we come up with. Anyway, this comic doesn't deserve a review. I just wanted to talk about the Star Wars stuff, though because I use blow in the title, it's probably not going to get sent out. Anyway, guys, I will see you later tonight when I take a look at Tim Lim's Indiegogo campaign.